There's a theory that the world that we live on, like Earth, is a prison planet for humans, and that there are higher, either extraterrestrial, interdimensional entities or beings that are using us. And like, you know how we harvest like honeybees for their honey?
Yeah.
They're harvesting us for our souls. And that's why wars, inflation, recession, depression, all these things around us happen. So think about it like this, right? So what are the 5 emotions?
Anger,
Joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger. 4 out of those 5 are negative things.
Oh,
What they say is that there's something that's harvesting us and manipulating the world around us to put negative media, negative things out there so we can just feel these emotions. And then when we die, you know, when you see that light at the end of the tunnel,
yeah.
supposedly it's like you go right back into the cycle. Like reincarnation, you just do the cycle right over again.
Prisoner's game?
Imagine all the media in the world, they give us all the negative just brings negativity. Everybody's all negative, everybody's all stressed out, everybody's all depressed, and just because it's like a farm, man.
Oh, so the alien's gonna capture my soul as well. Welcome back, you beautiful ZakTopians. And we are at almost 200 subscribers. Thank you for all the love and for all the support, and I'll be coming up with some more great content.
What's going on in Hawaii?
Forest fires.
Wildfire in Maui. Crazy, fam. That was where I wanted to retire my parents. The town of Lahaina. Prayers go to everyone that lost their house, anyone that lost their life, anyone that is damaged from the fire. It's tragic. It's terrible. There's a conspiracy going around, and there's this guy. He was a local of Lahaina. He was saying usually when a wildfire like this happens, there's signs like there's something fishy going on, and he doesn't know what it is yet. It's really weird that they've always been trying to claim the land or buy the land from the city of Lahaina, but it's like historic.
Okay.
So they couldn't do it. They couldn't build anything new on top of it.
Yeah.
Now this is what's crazy. There was pictures and a lot of speculation that it might have been planned. I'm gonna show you a picture.
Laser beam?
This is the day of the fire. Earlier they caught a picture of almost like a laser coming straight down from the sky.
Yeah.
What's even crazier, there's these other like sightings of almost like a green laser.
Do you know who the Statue of Liberty actually is? No. Lucifer. The Statue of Liberty has 7 points on its crown because he indulges in all the 7 sins of the world. And on top of that, it's holding a torch representing the light bearer, Lucifer.
Isn't it supposed to be representative of freedom?
But freedom of what? I don't know. Exactly. It's freedom from God. It's the Luciferian agenda that's being played out for centuries now.
They keep deleting the video about the murals, so I'm really just gonna have to watch my mouth. Basically, there were these murals inside the airport that actually depicted a lot of apocalyptic kind of, let me just show you that. Like, imagine walking in a baggage claim and seeing this. Or better yet, this. The weird part is a lot of these murals had children incorporated into them. Mind you, this was made in the 1990s, and it even references things that we're experiencing today. Now, these murals were so controversial for the last about like 8 years. They've been putting them up and taking them down, putting them up and taking them down. But the Lord gets better. If you guys don't know about Lucifer, this is going to be who welcomes you to the Denver airport. When I was in Denver this week, I met some locals who were telling me that they actually moved this statue to do some construction underneath the airport. So then I got curious and I really wanted to know more about the crime and stuff that goes on. And y'all, people go missing and then magically turn up. One lady went missing and was dead in her car for 6 weeks. Y'all should really look into the theories about this place.
I mean, these murals are kind of creepy. If you look at the imagery and all the symbolism, that's definitely something there.
What do you believe that other people will find strange or strongly disagree with?
I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but I do have one.
This is how all great conversations start.
And when I say this, think I'm crazy, but now they're all starting to believe me now. So you use Google Maps.
Yeah,
right?
I can't wait to see where this is going.
Have you ever been on Google Maps and you've missed the turn and then you keep going and it actually ends up being like 3 minutes quicker?
Yes.
So I have a theory, you know, with the atomic habits and the percentage of 1. I'm like, if Google Maps have some sort of deal with the government to increase everyone's car journey by just 1%, there's going to be 1% more of cars going to all the petrol stations, buying more stuff, so then they're paying more VAT, and then I just like, and then paying more petrol, more diesel. And all my friends say they've noticed it now, and even if I know the way home, Google Maps would always send me a slightly longer way.
I put maps on every single time I get in the
So
car.
do I. It's a
I
quicker
put on
way.
Waze.
Yeah.
Waze is very good.
Okay.
And I just want the easiest route. It doesn't always have to be the quickest. I just want the easiest drive.
See, I want the quickest, and it might just get me there. I hate driving.
I mean, you may not agree with it, but if you pay attention, then this might make sense.
I told my dad about the Fruit of the Loom conspiracy.
Oh,
Oh, is this the fruit of the loom investigation?
Oh, I found my old t-shirts.
So have we found the cornucopia?
We found something pretty close.
Oh, let's see what we've got here.
Okay, here is the older design, not this.
Oh, see, they're faded. It's hard to see, right?
Well, hang on a second. I got one better than that.
Okay. Got the magnifying glass out and everything. It's been an official investigation.
Here's a dark one.
Oh, okay. Okay, no basket though.
I've got one that looks like
it could have been a basket.
It's either a bowl or a basket.
Yeah, right.
Here's one with a color label.
Oh my gosh.
And when you look at it,
it's got some kind of...
It's a bowl to see around the... Look through the magnifying glass, but here you can hold it up there under the light, and you can see that there's a device, all the fruit's sitting in. It's either a basket or a bowl. But you don't see the bowl. They took that away. I got some tweezers.
Alright.
The fruit of the loom Mandela effect. There you go.
Denver International Airport is the most monstrous conspiracy theory. I don't know whether to start with the fact that it's twice the size of Boston, Miami, and San Francisco. Or that every several months during construction, they switched contractors so that no one knows the full layout of the airport. Not to mention, there's at least 5 buildings that they decided to bury, and there's potentially hundreds of underground bunkers. So I'll just start it off simply with the terrifying artwork in this airport. Denver Airport welcomes you with this inviting 32-foot, 9,000-pound statue of this demonic horse with red eyes nicknamed Lucifer. This possessed statue essentially murdered its creator when a piece of it fell off during construction and severed its artery. A lot of people believe that it represents one of the 4 horsemen who will usher in the apocalypse, which seems far-fetched until you see the artwork they have in the Denver airport. What better way to get in the mood for a flight than to walk past this mural of a soldier stabbing a dove holding a rifle standing over unconscious children? The gas mask and decaying city are also a nice touch. Phone is rebelling because it was supposed to update months ago and I keep putting it off, so it won't let me post the second even more terrifying picture.
Those murals and that statue. Yep, nothing suspicious.
In this video, we're gonna talk about the Dead Baby Project. Now, this was called Project Sunshine, which is a really messed up name, and you'll realize why after I tell the story. So the original theory was that the government was stealing dead bodies to do radioactive testing. And the truth is, the government was stealing parts of dead bodies. But they specifically needed young tissue, so they were stealing from dead babies. These were all recently deceased babies or children, and they would take samples of their tissue and sometimes even their limbs. Each of these were collected without permission from grieving families. They did this to over 1,500 grieving families. It could be more, we'll just never know.
You know those Walmart type brands like Great Value and then the regular brands, right? Listen to this theory, right? It might shock you a bit. So they have Cool Whip, then just the normal whipped cream. I bet you didn't know it's all made by the same company. It's just that Great Value goes to the same manufacturers and they just get it made cheaper without the branding, like no brand name. So, you know, the canned vegetables, right? The big name brand is called Green Giant, and the Great Value ones are also made by Green Giant. It's the same with cereal. There's this store called Aldi, right? Now, this store is known for having the best products that match up to the big name brands. That's how they promote their store. So if you go into Aldi, they have this brand called Millville. And all their cereals are replicas of cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Cookie Crisps, and Rice Krispies. And they look so similar, but are all made by Millville. The real name brand is made by General Mills. They dug deep and found out that Millville is the same thing as General Mills. It's the exact same. They even taste the exact same, like literally.
I mean, the funny part about this video is the AI Elon voice. That caught me off guard.
You know, they staged all these photos. They staged, you know, the horse and wagon, and, you know, they came with a hammer and a chisel, and it doesn't make any sense. There was no hammer and chisel, there was no horse and wagon, there was no Oregon Trail, there was no none of that. What there was advanced technology. Now, let's take it one step further. There's tunnels that are large enough to fit railroads underneath our feet. People arrive here after they hijack and steal all these buildings, They get in these tunnels and they actually transport themselves with whatever technology is deep down within the earth, and they get to all these cities. Then they put their name on top of these buildings, claim them, and then say this is Harvard and this is Yale and this is the first, Hershey's chocolate and this is the first Tiffany's & Co. All these different names. They traveled through the underground part of the earth to inhabit and take over all these different cities. They're coming up from underneath the earth. That's how it actually went down. There was no Oregon Trail and somebody sitting across the wagon. There might have been. Some people might have tried to go with a horse and a wagon, but they probably perished.
Have you ever experienced déjà vu? If you've ever had the feeling of having lived a moment before, you've already experienced déjà vu. It's an inexplicable phenomenon. And what if you had actually already lived that moment? The theory put forward suggests that our consciousness has already lived thousands of different lives before, and when we die, the bright light we see at the end of the tunnel is actually a form of rebirth into the world as a baby. It is said that between the ages of 1 and 3, memories are being erased. That's why we don't remember anything at that age. And sometimes not all memories are erased properly. That's why we can have this déjà vu sensation, which is actually a remnant of memories from our past life. The déjà vu you experience would therefore be truly real.
There's a conspiracy theory that Taylor Swift is a clone of the high priestess of the Church of Satan.
Might be.
This is Zena Levy. At first glance, you can easily spot her resemblance to Taylor Swift. They were both singer-songwriters with blonde hair, same facial features, and an unsettlingly identical gaze. The fact that they even shared the same lipstick shade added to the eerie rumors circulating about them. So before we dig deeper in this theory, if you think that they really look identical, share your thoughts in a comment. A lot of people began believing this theory because in one of her songs called Willow. In its music video, while Taylor Swift is playing the piano, Golden Threads comes out, and once they made contact with people, they become obsessed with the thread. It was as though a spell had been cast upon them. They would follow her, adore her, and soon, they resembled nothing less than a devoted cult. If you peered into Swift's fandom, you'd find an eerie devotion that are similar to a cult. These made some people begin to question whether Taylor Swift is a clone or a priestess in disguise that uses her music to make people become attached to her and becomes a new following. This is one of the most intriguing theories regarding a celebrity. What are your thoughts about this?
I mean, the similarities are too uncanny.
What makes the water act like this?
It might be because of harp or those frequencies.
Found this out recently that every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Every single holiday. Okay. Think about it. Valentine's Day celebrates the sin of lust. Thanksgiving, that celebrates the sin of gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, because
you're eating a lot. You're overeating. You're taking too much more than you need.
Yeah.
Now, Christmas, what do you think that is?
Christmas. Greed?
Greed. Yeah. Overconsumption and excess.
Okay.
Right? Wanting more of something.
That makes sense.
We're celebrating gifts. We're celebrating gifts. We're not really even celebrating like the birth of Christ because people are so focused on the gifts and shit. Now, Easter. This one's interesting. The holiday of Easter, what sin would it be?
Easter. I don't know.
Check this out. This one gets deep. They say it's envy because the Romans were jealous of Jesus, so they murdered him.
Oh.
St. Patrick's Day. It's sloth. Because people get blacked out drunk.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now, Halloween is what? It's wrath.
Okay.
So, scaring and hurting people for fun. With masks, it's wrath.
Oh.
There's one more, the sin of pride. Independence Day. So, every single one of the holidays is like a 7 deadly sin.
Technically, it's bad to celebrate those holidays.
According to an online conspiracy, American cheese slices won't burn and will turn black if held over a flame. I decided to test it out, and the results were unexpected. Will you eat this again?
So I'm guessing that's because all of the artificial artifacts they use in the ingredients.
These are scary what-if theories. What if everything behind you disappears, but when you look back, it reappears?
What if our shadows were warning us about something in the dark because they disappear in it? What if you're the only person left on Earth and everyone and everything around us are just imaginary people and things we've made up so that we don't feel lonely? What if every time you think you hear your name being called, it's actually just your family trying to wake you up from a coma? What if the meteor that killed the dinosaurs was actually a UFO and we're the aliens?
What if we are the aliens?
So here's a conspiracy theory that isn't super depressing to think about, and in fact, because I love Adam Sandler so much, I really hope that it's true. But first, I just need to give some credit where credit is due. I first heard about this on the Sinisterhood podcast, and that was like 2 weeks ago, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it ever since, so definitely listen to them if you haven't already. Let's get started. Now, this theory is coming to us from a Reddit post, but it's one that I am choosing to believe, I think, so here we go. It's beyond speculation at this point that Adam Sandler produces cheap projects in order to get his friends paid big money. In the Half in the Bag review of Jack and Jill, Mike observes that in 2011, Katie Holmes isn't seen much outside of the tabloids anymore and thinks that she was in this film because it was one that her husband, Tom Cruise, notoriously controlling, would give his permission to, simply because it would be a fat paycheck. Why did Adam Sandler choose Katie Holmes? The woman who played his partners in most of his recent preceding films were Jennifer Aniston and Leslie Mann, both very experienced comedy actors, and Salma Hayek. If you can pay anyone to pretend to be your wife, you cast Salma Hayek. Makes sense. The couple of love interest after Katie Holmes were Drew Barrymore and Academy Award winner Susan Sarandon, both very experienced comedy actors, and Salma Hayek again. He's also friends with Aniston since they were kids and has hired Barrymore repeatedly since she sought him out and begged to work together. It makes sense that they're on his list of loyal buddies who make it on the payroll when they want a job. So, knowing all of that, why did he choose Katie Holmes? We now know that Katie Holmes secretly and meticulously planned her divorce from Tom Cruise. She had to repeatedly meet with lawyers, secure a getaway apartment, bank accounts, cell phones to ensure a quick and safe escape with full custody of their daughter, all without him or the Church of Scientology suspecting a thing. As Mike repeatedly points out, Holmes was given nothing to do in the film. The job provided her not just money, maybe it even more importantly provided an alibi. Maybe Jack and Jill was a cover that gave her an excuse to be out on the loose, but also gave her enough free time since she hardly had any lines or need to rehearse real acting that she could meet with lawyers and plan her escape. I mean, I don't know. It kind of seems plausible. Like, when would she have been able to plan this meticulous divorce from Tom Cruise if he was watching her every move? It seems like the only time she would have been able to get away from him and not be under his watchful thumb is if she was on set. I don't know. Anyways, it goes on to say, I think Adam Sandler hired Katie Holmes for this reason. This was the last project that Holmes would work on before her divorce a few months later. I would even go as far as to suggest that he slapped the whole film together specifically as a cover for her. I also don't think that this is the only time that he's done something like this. The following year, he cast sports reporter Erin Andrews in a small role as a receptionist in That's My Boy in 2012. In 2008, Andrews was stalked by a man named Michael Barrett who filmed naked videos of her through peepholes at a Marriott hotel in Nashville and then again at a Radisson in Milwaukee. In 2009, he posted those videos from the Marriott online, and then she filed lawsuits against Barrett, Marriott, and Radisson because the employees at the hotel room told her stalker which room she was staying in, and then they gave him the room right next to hers, which is how he was able to obtain these videos in the first place. When Adam Sandler hired her, she was simultaneously trying to get the videos removed from websites, and then she was fired from ESPN for refusing to talk about the incident on air. That is so messed up. And she was fighting Marriott's army of lawyers in court, which she eventually did win her lawsuit and $55 million, but years later. So a nice paycheck for an easy job would have been a big help to her, and I don't think there's any other logical explanation for the film to exist other than to help Erin Andrews when she was in a real desperate situation. What if all of Adam Sandler's terrible money laundering scheme movies are fronts that he tosses together ASAP in order to provide fast help for victimized women? Is Adam Sandler a secret hero? So listen, I'm going to be honest and admit that I'm a Tom Cruise hater. I don't like him, but I do love Adam Sandler. So I would like to believe this, because even though I love him, I can't admit that some of his movies, I'm like, what was the point of that? And really, I do think that he's admitted in interviews that he just likes to have fun with his friends, and that's why he always does hire his friends on his movies, because he has his own production company, and he's got so much money. So like, is it really that far-fetched that he would be able to do something like this? You know, let me just throw this movie together and you'll get a paycheck and it'll help you out with a bad situation. And then he still, you know, he gets to help somebody. He gets to hang out with his friends and he still makes money. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think I'm going to choose to believe this.